That's the only two things I'm gonna stress about today and tomorrow. When I think ahead of that, I think about the future, the weeks. It's not good and it's not smart. Recharging doesn't mean you don't think about life or work. You do, but you're okay with not doing it at the moment and just experience life. Wow, I'm so deep. When I want to do something, I have to do it now, which makes me a very efficient person. When you can take a productive break, it means that you have confidence in your skills. You have the confidence that I'll be back and I'll be better. Oh my god, dude, who the fuck wrote this? Welcome back to my channel, guys. As I said, I promised that I wanted to post more journal entries recently because, as you can see, I am pretty much almost done with my journal here, and there's just certain things that I write in my journal that I feel like I should just talk about it with you guys. Sometimes I really just want to have it like extremely thought out, but then I'm like, what? This could just be very, very casual conversation. And so the topic that I want to talk about today is taking a break. Being able to just allow yourself to not do something and be able to take a productive break, because that is something that I think even as a kid, I've always struggled with it. I think it's pretty common within Asian immigrant families. They're just taught that you gotta grind, you gotta keep going. And I remember it was in middle school. I remember that was like the first phase where there was this one teacher that was super strict and he was like, just doesn't allow bullshit. So I had to be on top of my game. In 6th grade math, I remember like I was so stressed out that I had a nightmare. I was sleepwalking, which is very concerning because I've never done that before. So even as a kid, it's just I felt so guilty taking a break. And that was something that I really wanted to work on this year. And I really asked myself internally, what the fuck do I need to do? Why do I feel so awful when I'm taking a break? Even when I'm not doing something, I feel really awful about it. Like I think about it, I obsess over what I should be doing. And it just makes me feel like I'm going backwards, even though that's not the case, but I think of it like that. And so I journaled a little bit and I want to read aloud some stuff that I wrote down. And I said that to take a productive break, being able to fully recharge. One thing that I learned from my trip back to Boston is that you need to remove yourself from the stressful environment, whether that's work, whether that's just certain things. And I think that for most of us, I'm going to believe that this context applies to you given that you want to recharge from your work. It's important to remove yourself from that environment. And what did I say? I said, put yourself within good company, especially an understanding person. Like I was able to spend time with my friend, like Cece, and she was super, super sweet. Like it was just like super understanding. And I think that it's very much a gift when you're able to spend time with someone that is good company and actually hears you out. Even if you don't have someone to spend it with, it's okay. Because for me, I've been thinking about doing some solo traveling because I realized that I just need a change in scenery, like a change in something, or just a road trip in a day, or just take the train to somewhere else. And that's just very important for me because I have to leave my environment in order to actually just see something different. Because when you constantly do something, you associate that something with your environment. So you have to remove yourself from that to have like a fresh sort of perspective. I said that don't be in a place that drains you, infantilizes you, makes you doubt yourself. A good recharge is to feel good about yourself. And also, that's something I say is that don't quote unquote self-harm or self-sabotage. Because the thing is that sometimes when I'm by myself, I call a lot takeout. And I don't mean like eating a lot is a form of self-harm, but in a way I'm not hungry. That's the thing. I'm not hungry, but I'm eating, and I'm eating with my emotions, and I feel really shit about myself. And I just like doom scroll. I'm like, this is so not productive. And I realized that for me to recharge, which is honestly kind of sad, is that I have to leave my place. Personally, for me, this is not for everyone. It's just that as you go on, you need to notice patterns with yourself. For me, when I'm in my place and I don't go out, I do a lot of weird ass shit. I doom scroll, which is not good for me. It's not good for my brain. I order a shit ton of takeout, like a lot of food. And I'm like, why do I need to do that? I have food in the fridge. Let's just eat that. And so this is something that I noticed. Recharging doesn't mean you don't think about life or work. You do, but you're okay with not doing it at the moment and just experience life. Wow, I'm so deep. I am so fucking deep. Are you dead ass? You should have the confidence that you can keep going. A break is important. Yes, you can keep going without a break, but you'll be miserable. Oh my god, dude. Who the fuck wrote this? Dude, I wrote this like literally last night at like 2 a.m. I think that for me, I always thought that, to recharge is just to not think about it. But like, what the fuck? Are we machines? No, of course, like whatever the hell I did before, it's gonna be in the back of my head. I'm gonna be thinking about it. But that's not the focus right now. The focus is just to enjoy life. And having a friend really helps. But even if you don't, just let today be your day. Just selfishly let it be your day. And I know that for some people, it might come really easily, but for some of us, it might be a bit more difficult. Like, oh, what do you mean it's my day? It's never my day. I gotta grind. I gotta do shit. If I'm not making the most out of my time, I'm a failure. Other people are always going. Other people are always doing something. Like, I gotta do the most of it. And I get it. And sometimes it just constantly feels like it's not like you have something to prove. I think some of us just have this obsession with constantly going and going. And I think it's a pro and con because when you keep going and going, you only become better. But you have to know that a break doesn't set you backwards. It's just a pause. Yes, maybe you might not be getting better, but you're not getting worse. Yes, you can make the most out of this break, but you have to understand we are humans. We're not machines. You have to take a break. You can't keep running. You have to take just a quick break. If you don't do that, you're gonna really hate it. You have to create a sort of boundary with yourself. You have to respect yourself and be like, not today. Today, I'm just gonna do XYZ and I can get back up tomorrow. And it's very hard, especially given if you're in a very high stress environment, which is why it's so important for you to remove yourself from that, which is why a little trip to somewhere, it doesn't have to be far. You don't have to hop on a plane, but just somewhere. It makes you feel slightly better. And you can choose that location. We all have locations where we feel slightly safe. It might be a certain cafe, it might be a bookstore. Just put yourself in there and just decompress. Cause like, what the fuck? So I said that a break is important. Yes, you can keep going, but you'll be miserable. It'll be unpleasant. You'll be brutal to yourself. Be kind. Surround yourself with kind people and environment that can do you good. Surround yourself with nature and plants. Buy pretty things and eat good food. Everything is within your control. It's very important that you see nature because at the end of the day, I think there's like some research. There has to be some research out there where it's proven that if you look at nature and plants and the greens, you're gonna feel better because we're animals at the end of the day. And I realized that ever since I set up these curtains, when I open it up, sunlight comes in, I feel better. I feel more motivated. And just like, I do think that my view is not the most ideal because you just see a fuck ass building. But when the sun just hits, I feel like a cat. I'm just like, oh, this is good. And I open up the windows, I hear the breeze come in. It's really nice. And for those of y'all whose view is like nature, y'all lucked out, honestly. And taking a walk, being surrounded with nature is just very important. And for me, because living in New York, I don't really get that all the time. And I think that's one of the reasons why I crash out. It's very important for you to notice things. You have to write down things that makes you feel better. And I'm going to share a list afterwards of what actually makes me feel better. And you have to just really honor your younger self. If you go to a stationery store and you see these notepads, right? And you're like, oh, that's such a waste of money. Why the fuck do I need it? Just buy it. Just buy it. Fulfill your inner child. It's going to make you feel better. Literally, I saw like this really cute ass washi tape and I bought it and it made me feel better. And I'm like, oh, I'm literally just a kid. It fulfills something within me. I'm like, oh, this is just washi tape. It's so simple and I can use it. It's just the little joys in life. And the thing is that I always tell myself that everything is within my control. Everything is on my own timing, especially living in New York. Like, no shit, I compare myself 24/7. And I think to compare, you also in a way become better and better. It's kind of hard, but I tell myself that everything is within my control. And I am a big believer that if you can think it, you can become it. It just takes a lot. And sometimes, like even now, I know that it takes a lot. It sucks. It doesn't get better, but you just have evidence that if I work hard, things get better for me. I can become what I want. So I have proof, but that doesn't mean that going forward, it becomes easier and easier. It's just, you still have obstacles and obstacles. It's just that you have a belief now and it's been solidified by past evidence. So I'm like, okay, cute. Let's keep going. Yeah, and I just wrote down like Boston slows me down. And I think one of the things that I realized these days is just that recently, you guys know that I've been having some anxiety issues and like, oh, I'm get scared going out, being perceived. And I realized that I think you guys can probably all guess it. It's just, it all ties down to just confidence within myself. I realized the confidence within myself has not been the most ideal. People say that when you look at a sky, how we perceive reality is not reality itself. It's what's going on in our head. When we look at a blue sky, we feel good. For some of us, we feel good. Some of us, we don't feel good. It's the memories you associate with it. For me, when I see rainy days, I feel kind of nice. Not when I'm outside, but when I'm inside and looking at outdoors, I'm like, it feels nice. Because I associate rainy days with good memories that I had in the past. And for some other people, they associate with really bad memories. When I'm like in big crowds of people, I'm nervous because there's a lot of people. In the past, I felt like when I was big groups of people, I get very overstimulated and I feel like people are judging me. And I just need to clock myself. When you say stuff back to yourself, it just makes sense. Instead of it's just a jumble of emotions of like a bunch of scribbles. Oh, why do I feel this way? Oh, I just feel like a certain mess, feel like a lump in my chest. That doesn't do you any good because you can't even know what the heck you're feeling. When you know what you're feeling, you understand yourself better. You know what to target when you feel certain emotions. And also I want to share with you guys some of the stuff that I wrote down that makes me feel better. Things that makes me feel better. I say eating breakfast. The first thing in the morning for me is just eating breakfast, making something, whatever I crave. I have to make it myself. This morning I woke up and I craved pancakes, so I just made pancakes. You just have to honor what you crave, and it makes me feel better when I just eat whatever I want. And it's important that you make it yourself. Second, the gym. The gym always makes me feel better because it's like, there's probably some research out there where like when you move your body, your head becomes clear. It's also just like, it's a sense of routine, and being able to build a routine, you become unstoppable because you're guaranteed for success and guaranteed that whatever you want, want is closer by, and it's just discipline. Gym, I associate with discipline and a self-respect for myself. And when I'm disciplined, I have a lot of respect for myself. I feel good about myself. I become confident in myself. Gym gives me a sense of confidence. Journaling is very important because you process your emotions, but I do think that sometimes when I'm super, super aware of things, I think when I first started journaling, it was very beneficial, but as time went on, I think I just became so aware of things, and journaling still helps, but without action, journaling doesn't help me anymore. I speak out loud sometimes when I feel a certain way. I talk to myself, which I know might sound a little fucking scary, but whatever. Next, this might sound stupid to you guys, but whatever. I like editing. Editing always makes me feel better because it's a sense of creating for me, which I think ties into painting and drawing, which is something I just don't really do often anymore because I think I drew a lot back then to cope with things. And I think now it's just I get very critical of myself. The shading doesn't look right. That doesn't look right. I just don't even want to work on it. A part of me just feels a little lazy. And next, might be very niche, but setting an alarm to wake up. With my job where I make content, I can sleep until like freaking 3 p.m. and nobody's going to bother me. But the thing is that when there's a lack of routine, when you wake up at like 3 p.m., at least for me, I feel very shit. I'm like, oh, half the day is gone. I like to wake up early in the morning because I just feel like I have a head start. So no matter how late I sleep or how early I sleep, I always set an alarm. I set my alarm usually around 9 a.m., 10 a.m. And when I wake up, I'm like, okay, bright and early, start of the day. I'm starting from 0 and I'm gonna finish it instead of waking up at like somewhere in the middle and then finishing the day. It doesn't feel right. And something I realized recently is that when I wake up, I cannot be checking my phone. That's the first thing. I realize sometimes my phone really stresses me out. Scrolling, checking emails, checking this, checking that can wait. I feel like I'm just not present. People say that when you have a lot of anxiety, it's because you're worried about the future. And that's very true. And literally, I kid you not, I saw this one TikTok. This TikTok literally said that 4 years of therapy within 1 minute. Let me read some of the stuff to you guys. You really do become what you think. If you feed your mind trash, you're going to feel like trash. Emotions, they're not problems. They're signals. Fear shows what really matters. Anger tells you what boundaries got crossed. Anxiety means that you're stuck in the future and is a reminder you need to come back to the present. Motivation will change your life. Habits will. When you change your habits, everything shifts. Yeah, when you're very anxious, you just constantly think about the future. You think about the future. I think like that when I have a lot of caffeine. But like when I don't have that much caffeine and when I'm operating on like a regular baseline, I only think about what I have to do today and tomorrow. Yes, we can think about the stuff that we have to do in the future, but it's very important for me to just really focus on right now, today, and what am I going to do tomorrow? And then the day after could wait. That could wait. Not saying that the days aren't planned out for me. It's just I have a schedule for my weeks, but I only focus on today and tomorrow. That's the only two things I'm going to stress about, today and tomorrow. And when my anxiety really comes through, it's really much when I think ahead of that. I think about the future, the weeks. It's not good and it's not smart. And I think for me, I've always struggled with this, which is that I feel like I'm always running out of time. When I want to do something, I have to do it now, which makes me a very efficient person and it makes me get things done fast. But I think I get very, very rude to myself when I take a break. When I'm like, this is not what you should be doing right now. What the fuck are you in New York for then? You're having the best of the best. You don't need a break. That's the fucking stupidest shit I've ever heard. Just keep going. Just keep going. Gotta keep grinding. The thing with me is that I tell myself that you can only become, 0.01% better or whatever percentage you guys want, just slightly better. And I feel like when I take a break, I'm not becoming that percent slightly better. But I honestly, when I really think about it, I really do think that you become slightly better even when you do take a break because it's a form of self-respect. When you can take a productive break, it means that you have confidence in your skills. You have the confidence that I'll come back. I'll be back and I'll be better. I'll keep rolling because you have a routine, you have discipline, and you can just keep going and going and going. And it just depends on where your recharge station is. If your recharge station is somewhere where it drains the fuck out of you, it makes you doubt your abilities, and that's probably not the right recharge station for you. A good recharge station should make you a bit kind of excited to come back or fulfills you and recharge you and makes you feel good, which is something that I realized recently because I always thought that, when I recharge, I always doubt my abilities. I don't feel good about myself. And that's just because you didn't find the right recharging station. And I think aesthetics is very important, as in what you see around you, which is why going back to things that makes me happy, I realize that I tend to keep my things very minimalistic. I don't know if you can tell. It's also because sometimes I'm just like, I'm going to be moving out of here in a year. What's the point of decorating things? But I do realize that when things are things that I like, things that makes me happy, it feels more like home. Sometimes I keep things very bland kind of because I feel like it's just easier to look at. But sometimes when things are easier to look at, they feel like they don't even belong to you. Like I'm looking at my space, I'm like, sometimes I don't even feel like the space really belongs to me because I'm just like, yeah, they look good together. But sometimes I'm like, maybe I could put a doll there. Maybe I can just buy some stuff that really makes me happy. So these days I've just been buying a lot of notepads, sticky notes, and it makes me feel happier. And The thing is that we all have to realize is everything is within your control. You taking a break is within your control. You getting back up is also within your control. So that should show you that whatever you want to do, it's within your control, and you shouldn't doubt yourself just because you decide to take a break. It's not weak to take a break. And yeah, maybe people that you admire, people that you look up to online, they probably take breaks, but they just don't mention it. Everyone needs a break, and you have to allow yourself to do that, because if you don't, you cannot go for the long run. You're gonna do something and you're gonna really hate it, and then you're gonna keep going and then you're gonna hate it even more, which is not sustainable at all. So you have to think about things in the long term, and you have to be consistent with it, right? If you want to be consistent with it, you have to allow yourself some breaks. You don't want to keep going and going and going and pushing yourself till you burn out, and then you're gonna feel like shit and you're like, I quit, I don't want to ever do this shit ever again. That's just not what the vibes are, right? And of course, me sitting here, me telling you to take a break, you might just be like, what the fuck is she talking about? Because to be so fair, back then I had friends who will be like, maybe you should take a break, maybe you should take a break, and I don't understand what the fuck that means, and I'm like, oh fuck you, I don't need a break, what the hell? This is something that you just have to come to terms with on your own terms. Like, nobody can tell you to go take a break, but when you feel very burned out, you're gonna feel it and you're gonna be, I'm gonna just take a break. Yeah, this is just something that I've been trying to rewire my brain on, because even now I still struggle with it. I'm just like, I need to make the most out of today, I need to do this, I need to do that, and even now I still feel kind of bad about it. But I think because this is a fall season, it's like a cozy season, I'm just gonna like stay home, I'm just gonna chill. It's cold outside, I just want to stay in. I've been getting better at it, but I'm not where I want to be with it. And of course, this is just like an open conversation. If any of you guys have tips on taking a productive break, just comment down below for me to see, for other people to see. It's very important to just be outside, being out in the nature. It really helps, trust me. And eating like a good meal, taking yourself to that favorite restaurant of yours and just eating the meal. And I think that by doing that, doing things by yourself too, gives you a lot of confidence in your capabilities too. But of course, like having company, somebody like a good friend, helps even more. But yeah, I apologize if this is like a super short journal entry, but this is just something that's been on my mind recently and something that I desperately want to get better at. So I just want to share this with you guys because this was something from my journal entry literally last night. So I wanted to share it with you guys. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys soon. Until then, have an amazing rest of your week. Bye!